In regards to parties and sleepovers, I tend to offer to have their parties, like small gatherings are okay, or sleepovers at my house. Just, I'd rather know what they're doing and where they're doing it and be able to keep a good eye on them than just sending them off into the world to go somewhere where I don't know. I think it's really good to have relationships with the children's friends' parents as well. They can, you can keep in touch that way and know what's going on, both all play a role, take turns.
I always get the phone number or have a talk to the parent of the child that my son is going to stay over at or going to the party. It's a bit uncomfortable because apparently it's not a done thing these days, but I'm okay with being uncomfortable, and I think that my older two now realise why, and I know I'm going to have to go through it again with my youngest, but I think it's important to be able to have that avenue of communication if something goes wrong or if they need help. Also, you know, my kids have their own mobile phones, so my youngest has the ability to call or text if he needs to, and have maintained that safe space for him to be able to, no matter what's going on. So yeah, I think getting the other parents' phone numbers and knowing where they are, not just sort of, there's been a few times where my boys have gone, oh yeah, I'm going to a mate's place for the night. I'm like, oh, who's this mate? Where do they live? What do they do? Oh, no. And I'm like, okay, so you don't have to lie to me. It's all right. I just want to know that you're safe and that if something happens, you can get a hold of me or someone can get a hold of me. That's it. And just reiterating that. And once I take away that you're not in trouble, I remember what it's like to be, you know, a young adult, but I need to know that you're safe, because if I don't, who else is going to be there? And just reminding them of that, and they're usually pretty good to comply.
Again, I think it's just about limiting the numbers, knowing exactly who's coming, understanding who those people are, meeting the parents and understanding them. If I don't know a particular kid or a particular parent, I wouldn't be comfortable. I'd want to meet the parents of the kids that were coming over as well. And then just having very simple conversations about what it is we're doing, what we do allow, what we don't allow, what do they allow or don't allow. So for example, 13, 14-year-olds, some parents would still want them to be restricted on what kind of content they want their kids to see in terms of movies or those kind of things. You know, if it's 18 plus rated, do you feel comfortable them watching those type of movies? If it's yes or no, then obviously you manage that accordingly. But it's just about having open, honest conversations and understanding and educating yourself about who's coming over, what they're doing, and definitely nothing behind closed doors. Everything open, everything out in the open. You can certainly send very clear messages about the expectations again, and always reinforcing those expectations, always ensuring that they understand that they've got to use their brains, you know, they've got to think about the consequences of their decisions, that you're there to help them regardless of what time or what the situation is if they do need it, whether it be them or their friends. Reinforcing again very strictly no drinking and driving, no taking drugs and driving, and I think also reinforcing that, you know, needing to look after each other as well, right? You know, having each other's backs, and if someone does get out of control, that, you know, they got to ensure that they keep those people's, you know, safety in mind as well. You can't stop it all the time. It's going to happen. They're going to get access to it, but it's just reinforcing those values and expectations again about making really good decisions. And if you don't make a good decision, think about what those consequences are. You know, to us, to them, to the people around them.